Listening to my mother defend, forged messages, destroyed. The last thing I still trusted, completely. Listening to my older sister scream through the kitchen doorway, while my mother calmly folded laundry made my stomach lock up so hard I thought I would throw up right there on the tile. "You forged them!" my sister kept yelling. "You literally changed the messages!" I was standing near the fridge holding a bottle of water I hadn't opened. My phone was buzzing in my pocket every few seconds because my cousin Lena was still sending screenshots into the family group chat. My name was everywhere. People I hadn't spoken to in months were suddenly involved, all because my mother had shown everyone screenshots that made it look like I'd been insulting my aunt behind her back for almost a year. The screenshots looked real. That was the worst part. Same profile picture, same gray message bubbles, same spelling mistakes I actually make. My stomach dropped the first time I saw them because for maybe 3 full seconds, I thought I had somehow written those things during one of my insomnia nights and forgotten. Then I noticed timestamps repeating. My sister noticed it too. My mother kept denying everything in this exhausted voice like we were bothering her after a long day at work. She worked nights at a rehabilitation center outside Dayton and always came home smelling faintly like bleach wipes and cigarette smoke from coworkers standing outside during breaks. Normally, that smell meant safety to me. That morning, it made me feel sick. "I didn't fake anything," she said quietly. "Maybe he just doesn't remember." I actually laughed when she said that, but it came out shaky and weird. I remember staring at the digital clock on the microwave, 11:42 a.m. I still remember because everything after that felt unreal. 3 days earlier, my aunt confronted me after church in the parking lot. She was crying hard enough that mascara had stained the skin under her eyes. She asked why I hated her family so much. I genuinely thought she was confusing me with someone else. Then she showed me the screenshots. According to the messages, I'd called her husband lazy, mocked my cousin's depression, and complained that they borrowed money constantly. Some parts sounded close enough to my real frustrations that defending myself felt impossible. I had complained privately before, just never to her. Never like that. My mother was the only person who had access to my old iPad after I left it at home when I moved into my apartment last winter. That realization sat in my chest like a brick. My sister finally grabbed my mother's phone off the counter and started scrolling. My mother lunged for it so fast that a coffee mug crashed onto the floor beside them. I flinched so hard my shoulder hit the refrigerator door. "Stop acting crazy," my mother snapped. That word hurt more than everything else. Crazy. She used it anytime someone questioned her. My dad heard it for years before he left. I heard it through high school anytime I remembered conversations differently than she did. Somehow I never noticed how often she rewrote reality until I watched her doing it in real time. My sister found the editing app almost immediately. Nobody said anything for a second. I remember hearing the dryer buzzing in the laundry room and a dog barking outside somewhere down the street. My mother just stood there breathing hard, one hand pressed against the counter. Then she started crying, not apologizing, crying. She kept saying she only wanted the family to understand how hurt she felt after I moved out. She said everyone abandoned her eventually. She said she panicked when my aunt stopped inviting her over as much. Somehow the conversation shifted into comforting her, while I stood there feeling numb. By evening, the screenshots had already spread through relatives, church friends, and people I barely knew. A few apologized later. Most never mentioned it again. I stopped answering my mother's calls after that day. The hard part is that I still miss her sometimes. Last week, I smelled cigarette smoke outside a grocery store and almost started crying in the parking lot like a little kid. I haven't spoken to my aunt either. Even after the truth came out, something between us stayed damaged. I think once people picture you saying terrible things, part of them keeps believing it forever. Sometimes I still reread my real messages before sending them, checking whether they sound cruel without me realizing.